welcome to our mathematics lesson. I am Skolile Ngube, and this lesson is proudly brought to you by the Gauteng Department of Education. Today, grade 10s, we are going to look at the measures of central tendency, but for group data. Okay? Right, so let's be ready for our lesson, grade 10. I want you to have your workbook with you. As we usually do, we do our activities. So make sure that you are ready to do your activities. Let's organize our stationery that we need, our books, pencil, calculators, pens. Let's make sure we're ready. Okay, let's start our lesson, grade 10. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to calculate the measures of central tendency for grouped data. We are going to calculate the measures of central tendency for grouped data. That's what we're going to do in this lesson. Right, what are the measures of central tendency? What are we talking about? We're talking about what? The mean, the median, and the mode. These three are the measures of central tendency: the mean, the median, and the mode. Okay, right, we have done number operations. We're going to be adding, dividing. You're going to be using our knowledge about number operations. We've also done data handling. We've done statistics, right, where we found maybe the measures of central tendency for ungrouped data. Today we're doing for grouped data. Right? Remember our WhatsApp line 063-508-1301. Let's engage each other during the lesson, and let's make sure that we understand. Right, we usually start with our baseline activity. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Right, consider the data that is given here, these numbers. Calculate the mean, and then after calculating the mean, you calculate the median, and then you find what the mode is. Let's do this in 5 minutes. Welcome back. Now let's do corrections and also marking our work. If we got everything correct, excellent. Right, we're calculating the mean. How do we calculate the mean? How do we calculate the mean? We add all the data items in the data set, and then we divide that sum by the number of data items. Just like we find our average when we look at our reports, we add our marks for all the 7 subjects and then we divide by 7, isn't it? So it's the same thing. So here we add all these numbers. How many do we have? I think there are 20 of them. Yes, we have 20. You can count them. And then the sum, which is the numerator, divided by the number of data items, which is 20. But now you can see that here we have how many 13s? 2 of them. How many 14s? 4 of them. How many 15s? 3 of them. 3 16s. 4 17s. 2 18s. So what you can do, you can say 12 plus 2 times 13, because there are 2 of them. You see that? Plus 4 times 14. See that? Then plus 3 times 15, plus 3 times 16, plus 4 times 17, plus 2 times 18, plus 19. It becomes shorter instead of writing the whole set of numbers, okay? Right, you can do that. And then what we get as our mean, we get that our mean is 15,5. Okay, this is how we find the mean for ungrouped data. Remember, today we're doing the measures of central tendency for grouped data. Okay, then the median. How do we find the median? We have a formula that we use to find the position of the median. The position of the median. So this formula, the median position, we say n plus 1, where n is the number of data items. So here we have 20 data items, so it's 20 plus 1 divided by 2, which is 10,5. Then this tells us that the median is between the 10th mark and the 11th mark. So the median is between the 10th mark and the 11th mark. This gives us the position, but the median is here. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So the median is between 15 and 16. So now how do we find the median when you have 2 numbers like that? We find the mean of those 2 numbers. Remember, we find the mean. We add the numbers and divide by the number of those items. So we have 2 numbers here. So we add these 2 numbers, 15 plus 16, then divided by 2. Then it will give us the number which is exactly between 15 and 16. So your median cannot be above 16, cannot be below 15. It has to be the midpoint between 15 and 16. The common mistake that people do sometimes is that when using the calculator, they will say 15 plus 16 divided by 2. When you do that, the calculator is going to do BODMAS. It's going to do division first. 18 divided by 2, which is 8, and then 8 plus 15 gives you 23. But you can see that 23 is above 16. But the median has to be between these 2 numbers. Please take note of that. So that once you have done your calculation, you must check your answer. Does it make sense or not? The median must be between these. So you add them, get 31, and then divide by 2, you get 15,5. And 15,5 is between 15 and 16. Okay, that's how we find the median for ungrouped data. Remember, today we're doing measures of central tendency for grouped data. And then the mode. How do we find the mode? The mode is the data item that appears most. The data item with the highest frequency. Which one is that? We have actually 2 numbers here which have a frequency of 4. We have 14 and 17. So this data set is actually bimodal because it has 2 modes. It's possible to have 2 modes. It's possible to even have 3 modes. Okay, right. Now, that was our baseline activity. Let's just have a discussion before we go to the calculations. Right, what is the difference between the following 2 data sets? This set and this set. Actually, what is happening here? This information is the same as this information, but let me call it data set A and then data set B. A is ungrouped. We can see the actual marks. We can see the actual marks. But B now, the data is grouped. We are saying there are 4 learners that got between 0 and 20. We don't know the actual marks. These 4 marks can be 10, 12, 16, 17. We don't know. It can be 19, 19, 19, 19, 4 of them. It can be 1, 13, and 14, and 8. You see that? So it can be any mark that is between 0 and 20. You see that? So now when it comes to the group data, so that's why we use the instructions, estimate the mean, estimate the median, estimate the mode, because we cannot get the actual mode because we don't know the actual data items. 20 to 40, 4 learners. It means the 4 marks here are between 20 and 40, but we don't know the actual marks. But if we check on this ungrouped data, we can actually see the marks that are between 20 and 40. 20 not included and 40 included. So we can have 1, 2, 3, 4. We can see the actual marks. But on this one, we cannot see the actual marks. So that's the difference between ungrouped data and grouped data. This is grouped. This is ungrouped. So today we're dealing with this. Okay, so I wanted to share with you that part. The other thing that I want us to understand is, what are these measures of central tendency? What are they? Let's look at this information. The extract alongside is of a school report. I think it's familiar. Then you can see the term average, the measure of central tendency is 65,3. It summarizes the performance of the learner. So if you're saying, oh, my school average is 65,3, we have that picture of all your marks being around 65%. So the marks are clustered, the marks for all the subjects are clustered around this mark. It represents my performance. You see that? So the measures of central tendency, they summarize the data set. They give us a picture about the whole data set. Okay? If I say, oh, the average age for grade 10s, 16 years. You see that? It does not mean everyone is 16 years old, but that set represents the age for the grade 10s. That's a measure of central tendency. The ages are clustered around 16 there. You can have a 17, a 15, but all the ages are around 16 there, something like that. And then the class averages summarize the performance of all the learners in a particular subject. Now, 58%. As the parent, sometimes I do check the class averages. I check my child's mark and say, oh, you got 67%, or the class average is 58. So you did very well here because you're above the class average. Because this gives me the picture about the performance for the whole class. Do you see what the measure of central tendency do? Okay, right. Now let's move on to the calculations. Group data is arranged in groups. I think we have talked about that. I cannot overemphasize that part. Right, using the following frequency table now, we want to see how do we find the measures of central tendency now, use for group data. Determine the interval in which the median lies. So I'm going to show you this, how to find the median, how to find the mean, how to find the mode. And then after that, it will be activity after activity. Please, so make sure that you understand this part. I will show you how to find the median once, how to find the mean once, how to find the mode once. And then after that, activity 1, activity 2, activity 3. What do we do? Remember our WhatsApp line 063 508 1301. Please, if you have any questions or any input, send us a chat. Right, when it comes to this, we have to create a column for cumulative frequency. You know what cumulative frequency is? What is to accumulate? You keep on adding. So this is frequency. Let me write there. This is frequency. The number of learners is frequency. Right. Then what is cumulative frequency? We have to have that column for cumulative frequency for us to be able to identify where the median lies. Right. Let me explain the cumulative frequency. Right. So we have a frequency of 4 here. And then the cumulative frequency is 4. What is the meaning of this cumulative frequency? Remember, our data set is arranged in an ascending order from the smallest to the highest, from 0 to 100%. So this 4 means the first 4 marks, up to 4 marks or up to 4 learners. So the 4 marks arranged in ascending order are in this interval, up to 4 marks. Remember, these marks are arranged in an ascending order. And then to this frequency, the red one, we add this 4 cumulative. Remember what cumulative means, right? It becomes 8. So the cumulative frequency here is 8. And then what is the meaning of that 8? It means up to 8 learners, or let me say marks, up to 8 marks. So it means up to 8 learners got 40 and below. Up to 8 learners got 40 and below. It's like we have arranged these 8 marks. We've arranged the marks up to the 8th mark. So it is, they got between 40 and below. So it means it's in this interval and this interval. You see that? The first 8 marks. And then to the 8, we add the 7, becomes 15. Up to 15 marks, now arranged from the smallest up to the 15th mark. Right? And then, so it means these 15 marks, the first 15 marks are from 60 going down. From 60 going down. That's what it means. I think you've understood that part. And then we add 3. We keep on adding the frequency. To get the cumulative frequency, you keep on adding the frequency. 15 plus 3, we get 18. Up to 18 learners got 80 and below. And then we add 3 to 18, we get 21. Up to 21 learners. So this is the whole class. It means this class is composed of 21 learners. Now, we want to find the median. Don't worry about these other ones. Let's concentrate on the median. The position of the median is, we use our formula to find the position n. Our n is 21. Remember also how to find the number of data items. You add the frequencies. You add the frequencies. This will give you 21. So it means there are 21 learners here, or 21 marks. And then when you use the formula, we find that the median is the 11th mark. So now, where is this 11th mark? You understand that? Where is this 11th mark? Now here is up to the 4th mark. Here is up to, take note, I'm using the word up to. Here is up to the 8th mark. And then here it is up to the 15th mark, meaning that the 11th mark is here. because here we have up to the 8th, we haven't reached the 11th mark. But here up to the 15th mark, it means we have in this class interval, in this one, we have the 9th, 10th, 11th, from 11 go 12, 13, 14, 15, which is the 7 of them. You see the frequency 7. So the 11th mark is here, and that's where the median is. So the question was, in which class interval does the median lie? It lies in this class interval from 40 to 60. Then you write your answer. Okay, right, that is how we find the class interval in which the median lies. Let me give you 1 minute. If you want to write your short notes, you can do that in that 1 minute. Just try. Right, welcome back. Now you should be ready to answer any questions that ask you to find where the class interval, where the median lies. 1. Second one, the mean. For what? For group data. What do we do? Using the following frequency table, determine the approximate. Yeah, and you see that? Because we're estimating. The group data does not give us the actual marks or the actual data items. So we have to estimate. You see that? So what do you do? How do we estimate? We have to create some columns now. Let me show you how we create those columns. What we have to do is to find the midpoints of class intervals. Let me explain why you need to do that, so that you don't forget. Okay? Right. Let's look at the first class interval, 0 to 20. We're saying there are 4 marks in this class interval, but what are the marks? We don't know. We don't know the marks. So we assume, let me, in capital letters, highlighted assume. We assume that the midpoint, all these 4 marks are the midpoint between 0 and 20. It's like we're saying, we know how to find the midpoint. You can use the midpoint formula if you want, or you can use even the average, just say 0 plus 20 divided by 2. You get 10. The midpoint between 0 and 20 is 10. So we assume that the first mark is 10, the second mark is 10, the third mark is 10, the fourth mark is 10. So that's why we find these midpoints. So we find the midpoint, which is 10. Don't worry for now. I'm going to give you a nice table to copy and fill in. I'm trying to explain so that you don't miss this. And then we go to the second class interval. We don't know the actual marks also, but we know that these 4 marks are between 20 and 40. You know how to read this. It means 20 is not included and 40 is included. Okay, let me just ignore that for now. I'll just say between 20 and 40. Right, so we don't know the marks. So let's assume that all these 4 marks are the midpoint of 20 and 40. All these 4 marks are 30. 30, 30, 30, 30. So that's why we find the midpoint. Here the midpoint will be 50. So these 7 marks are 50. All of them. We assume that. We are estimating, remember. And then 70, all the marks, the 3 marks, 70, 70, 70. That's an assumption. and then 90, it means these 3 marks, 90, 90, 90. Now, then how do we find the total marks? We have to find the total marks for each class interval. So now, here, we are saying these 4 marks are each 10. So the total marks here, therefore, are going to be 10 times 4, which is 40. You see? And then here is going to be 30. How many 30s? 4 of them. So 30 times 4. Here is 50. How many 50s? 7. 50 times 7. That's why we say the midpoint times the frequency. Midpoint times frequency. So we're going to introduce the column for the midpoint and then the column for the frequency. For the column, sorry, for the column for the product of the midpoint and the frequency. Sorry for that. Okay, and then 70, there are 3 of them, 70 times 3. Don't write here, I'm just explaining. I'll give you a nice table to use. 90 times 3, like that. Okay, so that's what we have to do. Multiply the class interval with the midpoints. That's what you just did. And then what do you do? Add the answers. These answers, add them. They will give us the total marks, the assumed total marks. And then we divide just like we do. The mean is the total, is the sum of the data set divided by the number of data items, and then we divide by the number of data items. Remember, the number of data items, we just add these frequencies to give us the total number of data items. Okay, right. Short notes for 1 minute, then we move on to the calculation part. 1 minute. Right, welcome back. Let's do the calculation now nicely. Right, so what do we do? This is what we have. I haven't changed anything. What I've done, I've introduced this column, the midpoint, and then the column where we multiply the midpoint and what? And the frequency. I've explained why we're doing this. So the midpoint between 0 and 20 is 10. The midpoint between 20 and 40 is 30. The midpoint between 40 and 60 is 50. And then the midpoint between 60 and 80 is 70. And then the midpoint between 80 and 100 is 90. I've explained why we are having these midpoints. We're assuming that the marks in each class interval are equal to these midpoints because we don't know the actual marks. Now, let's find the sum now for each class interval. How many marks for each class interval? The first class interval is going to be 10 times 4, which is 40. 30 times 4, which is 120. 50 times 7, which is 350. 70 times 3, which is 210. 90 times 3, which is 270. Then we add all the marks. Okay, I'll give you time, maybe 2 minutes to just write your notes. Okay, right. Now, then we have the total number of the marks and the total, not total number, yes, number of marks. Number of marks, which is equivalent to the number of learners. And then we have the total marks for all the learners, the marks added. But this is estimated, remember. Now, the formula to calculate the mean is still the same. It will be the sum divided by the number of items. And then we do this, we do our calculation. So it's now 90 divided by 21, which is 47,142, goes on like that. We round off to 2 decimal places. We get this answer. Do I have something else? Let me check. Oh, I was just showing you that you can just do this once. You can just do this. Just multiply interval times frequency, interval times frequency, like that. You still get the same answer. Okay? Let's say you don't want to introduce this column. You can do this. Okay? Right, let me give you 2 minutes to just write your short notes. And then after that, we do the model class. Model class is very easy. And then after that, we'll do our activities. Please, if there's any question, let us know. 063-508-1301. Any input also, please feel free to tell us how we can improve so that you understand. Even to say thank you, we understand, that'd be great. If you don't understand, how can we improve? Please let us know. Okay, 2 minutes, and then after 2 minutes, we're going to continue. Welcome back, Britons. Welcome back. I really hope that you are understanding. Let's continue. The next one is easy. What is the mode? The mode is the data item that appears most. So now, how can we find the mode from the frequency table? We just use the frequency. Please don't use the cumulative frequency. Use the frequency. So now, in this class interval, that's where determine the model class, sorry. So this is the model class because this is where we have the highest number of learners. That's where we have the highest frequency, which is 7. So the model class interval is 40 to 60. Okay, the model class interval is the class with the highest frequency. In this case, is 40 to 60 there. Okay, right. Oh, it's a bit different from what we have there. So it must be like this here. Okay, right. It's a typo error. Right, it's fine. Now, let's do the activities now. I want you to apply what you've learned. You have to try. You have to try so that you see that you have learned something. Because sometimes when you listen to someone, you think, no, it's easy, I've understood. But you learn better when you try things. Now, a group of 19 learners. Count the number of playing cards that they each have. This is the data they collected. 1 at 14, 19, 11, 19 of them. Now fill in the frequency table. I want you to fill in the frequency table in 2 minutes. Just do part A for 2 minutes, and then after 2 minutes, we're going to do the others. 2 minutes. Right, welcome back, grade 10s. Right, I've seen that sometimes people don't like tallying, but tallying is very, very important, especially if you're dealing with a very big data set. Right, so we're going to do the tallying. And also I've seen some people, they write the frequency first, then they tally. You have to do the tallying, and then from your tallies, you'll get your frequency. Right, so let's do the tallying. I'll just squeeze it here. I don't have the column for tallying. So 14, where is 14? 14 is here. Okay. 9 is here. From between 5 and 10. 11 is here. 8 is here. 13 is here. 12 is here. 3 is here. 4 is here. That's how we tally. Right, we're doing 4 now. 16 is here, so we cross here, so that is 5. 17 is here. 9 is here. 19 is here. Am I right? No, I made a mistake here. No. 17, you see now I'm making a mistake. 17 should be here. So we have tallied wrongly here, so let's leave it, and then let's add here. Right? And then 19, okay, sorry for that, let's correct that. And then 19, we have tallied 19, and then 10 is here, 10 included. So 10 included should be this one here. 10, so it's here. And then 14 is here, right? And then 16, oh, we did a wrong tally, so we'll use that for the 16. And then 4 is here. 16, we have our wrong tally here. If it was a normal situation, we're going to erase and start afresh. That would be better, right? 11, I think I made a mistake here. Let me see my frequencies. 4, 2, 7, you see? Right. Let me start afresh. I think I need to start afresh here, otherwise I'm spoiling everything. Right. Okay. Right, let's try to be accurate. 14 is here. 9 is here. 11 is here. I'll try to be fast. 8 is here. 13 is here. 12 is here. 3 is here. 4 is here. 16 is here. Okay, I think that was another mistake. Then 17 is here. 9 is here. 19 is here. No room for mistake now. 10, we have to be careful here. Do we put it in the blue part or the green part? It's included here on this one, so that's where 10 is. So it's here. And then 14 is here. Then it becomes 5 like that. 4 is here. 16 is here. 11, where is 11? Here. And then 2 is here. I'm now doing 2, and then 17 there. Came out nicely now. Okay, right. And then from the tallies we get our frequencies. So this is 4, then 4, then 7, and then 4. That's how you do your frequency table. Okay, right. So now let's go to the second part. I want us to do the mean. Let's estimate the mean. So I'm going to give you time to do that. Estimate the mean. I've given you the table, you can use it, and I'm going to give you 4 minutes. 4 minutes. After 4 minutes, we're going to mark our work. Let's try. Right, welcome back, returns. Let's do this together. We're marking our work now. The interval, the midpoint for the class interval, what did you get? 0 to 5, the interval should be 2,5. Okay, you want to correct, maybe you made a mistake, you try to be fast and be ahead of me, okay? Right, the midpoint between 5 and 10, 7,5. The midpoint between 10 and 15, 12,5. And then the midpoint between 15 and 20 is 17,5. And then the frequencies, we have the frequencies here. So now what we have to do, we have to say 2,5 times 4 plus 7,5 times 4 plus 12,5 times 7 plus 17,5 times 4. Okay, or you can have a column where you have the product of the midpoint and the frequencies. You can have that, but you can also have it like this. It's still fine. Okay, and then there were 19 people there, so we divide by 19, and then we put this in the calculator. What do we get? We get 10,92% is our mean. We've estimated the mean. Okay, let me give you 1 minute to make corrections. Right, welcome back, returns. Now let's do the next part. What are we calculating? We are finding, or we've done A, we've done B, we're doing C now. In which class interval does the median lie? Remember how we did this. What did we do? We introduced a column for cumulative frequency. Do you remember that? So now, to your frequency table, introduce the column for cumulative frequency, and then you write your cumulative frequencies, or you determine your cumulative frequencies, and then you try to find out the class interval where the median lies. Let me give you 3 minutes for that. I think 3 minutes will be enough. Let's do it in 3 minutes. And after 3 minutes, you're going to mark our work. Welcome back, returns. Let's do the marking. Right, we have our table now with the cumulative frequency. But now we need to find the position of the median, isn't it? We need to find the position of the median. How do we do that? We say n plus 1 divided by 2. Our n is 19. We can even get it from the cumulative frequency there. Or we add this. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 7, 15. 15 plus 4, 19. So it means there are 19 data items. So our midpoint position is the 10th position. So it means after arranging these marks, it should be the 10th mark. Now, it's not marks, it's number of cards, isn't it? Number of cards, okay? So now it means where is the 10th card? Where is the 10th card? So it's going to be, here is up to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, arranged in what? In ascending order, okay? The number of cards is. And then it's up to the 8th. It's up to the 8th number of cards. And then where's the 10th position? It means it's here. Because this one is up to the 15th. You see that? It's up to the 15th. So the 10th is here. This one is up to the 8th. So it means you have not yet reached the 10th position. And then the 15 is up to the 15th. You have even passed the 10th position. So the 10th position is here. So and then the class interval is from 10 to 15, between 10 and 15. 10 is not included, but 15 included. Okay, so that's how we find the class interval where the median lies. Let's do the last one, which is the motor class. This one is easy. I'll give you 1 minute. Right, let's do the last one. Identify the motor class. 1 minute. Right, welcome back, returns. The motor class is the class interval with the highest frequency. Now this is 7, okay, which is 10, from 10 to 15. That's the motor class interval, okay? So we've learned, returns, how to find the mean for group data, the median for group data, the motor class interval for group data, okay? That's what we wanted to do in today's lesson. Now, I want us to take a short break, and then after our short break, we're going to have our homework. Let's take a break.
Dreams. What is your dream? Yini iphupho lakho? Not your parents' dreams, not your mom's dream for your life. What is your dream? Is it to get a bursary? Is it to study science? Is it to become a DJ? Is it to become a singer? What is your dream? Iphupho lakho. Once you have that dream, what I need you to do, I need you to write it down. Ingole mofati, write it down, ibhale phansi, and read it each and every single day when you wake up. Read it each and every single day before you go to bed, and remind yourself of where you want to see yourself. What is your dream? Write it down, meditate on it, and go after it with everything that you have.
Right, welcome back, returns. This is our homework. Let's do this. If maybe you're trying to copy the homework, someone can copy the table, and then someone copy the questions, and then after the lesson, you can combine your things. Let's do that in 2 minutes. Then after 2 minutes, we're going to summarize our work. Right, welcome back, grade 10s. So we're saying that, what did we learn? What did we learn? What did we learn? We found that the mean is the sum of the values in the data set divided by the number of elements in the data set. Then the median is the middle value of an ordered set. If we use the formula half times n plus 1 to find the position of the median, and then the mode is the data item that appears most, meaning that the data item with the highest frequency. Right, thank you very much, grade 10s. I really hope that you learned something. We are going to meet next week on Thursday, 9 a.m. In our next lesson, we're going to look at the measures of dispersion, which are also referred to as measures of spread. Let's meet next week, grade 10s. Don't miss the lesson. Thank you very much.